Hello Stampers, my name is Linda Bedinger and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. And today I have a little card project. I've had the opportunity to just play around with some more of the material in the pressed Petals designer series paper pack. And I've come up with a really fun card, so let's just get started. Okay, here's our card. Isn't that pretty? And I have used on this some of the new ice crystal glitter from Stampin' Up! And some of the glossy accent, what's it called? Shimmery crystal effects. And so I've done that and created, I hope you can see the sparkle on that card in the center of the flowers up here, and then in the center of the flowers down here. So this is what it takes to make this card. I have a piece of, this is soft suede, 8.5 by 5.5, scored and folded at 4 1/4. And let me just give that a little bit of a burnish there. Then I have a piece of this beautiful designer series paper from the pressed Petals paper, designer series paper. And this piece is cut 4 by 5 1/4, and it's going to go on the front of our card. Then I have a little piece here that is 2 1/4 by 4 out of the blueberry bushel to match our flowers here. Then I have a piece of very vanilla that is 4 by 5 1/4 to go on the inside of our paper here. Then we need a small scrap of the blueberry bushel and a small scrap of the designer series paper to make our decorations for the inside. Now for the outside, I have used my well-written framelit dies, and I used the one here for the thanks, and I cut out my thanks to go on the front of my card. And then on the inside, I used this, which is Kindness Changes Everything. And that stamp set is from Abstract Impressions. Let me grab that one so I can share it with you. Here is the stamp set, Kindness Changes Everything. And so that is what we're using to make this card, and we'll just get going. The first thing we have to do is to cut this little cap piece I've put on here. Even before that, when you cut out your piece of blueberry bushel, I wanted somewhere the flower was down here on the bottom, so that when I put my piece in place, it would showcase this beautiful flower arrangement here. So this piece again is 2 1/4 by 4 inches. And what I've done to make this, let me grab my ruler. Okay, so what I've done is I came in about 1 inch from the edge here, 1 inch. We can do it right on the grid paper. And I'm just going to use my black marker so you'll really be able to see what I did here. And I put a little tick mark at that 1 inch point. Then I went up the side of the paper 1 inch on this side and put a little tick mark, and then I came up 1 inch on this side and again put a little tick mark. Now then, what we need is our trimmer, and what we're going to do is we're going to put this little piece of paper in the trimmer and put in the cutting channel here the tick mark on this side in the cutting channel, and then the tick mark at the bottom right here in the cutting channel. And I'm going to go in and just slice that piece away. Now then, I'm going to do exactly the same on the other side. I'm going to put this bottom point in the cutting channel and this piece on this end in the cutting channel, and I'm going to cut them so that my little tick mark goes away. And there we go. There we have our little piece that's going to fit on the top of our card. Now, what I did at that point is I ran this through my Country Floral embossing folder, and I'm going to do that right now, and I'll be right back. Okay, here I've got my piece embossed, and I also have my Whisper White craft ink. And what we're going to do here is use a dauber. I've got some daubers here. And get a little bit of this white craft ink on my dauber, and I'm just going to go over, see, I think I probably need my silicone mat for this, go over the raised portions on this embossing folder just so that you can see the detail, and pick up the little white dots and the flower pieces, and just with a light touch, doesn't take very much ink, and it'll look a little bit more white, and then it kind of fades, so it won't be very dark in the end. But there we go, that's all there is to it. I'm really talking about just a little tiny bit, and that's all we need the craft ink for. So I'll set that aside, and this piece, this is really a very fast little card. This piece can go right on the front of my card front here, because what I'm going to raise is this piece. So here we go. Just lay this beautiful piece of designer series paper on my card front here, with a border, similar border all the way around. Then on this piece, what I'm going to do is add some dimensionals on this, and I think I'm going to use some of the black dimensionals on this, because I don't want the dimensionals when it's turned to the side to be very visible, and I think it'll be better with the dark ones. So I'm going to put one, and I'm going to use quite a few because this has got such different kind of edges here. So I want one in each of the corners, and because of the way this is cut, we've got 5 corners. So right in here, then I want one in the middle here, and one in the middle down here. And I don't want any of those edges to have the opportunity to sag. I think it is so cool that we have these now black dimensionals, so that we have some choice about whether a big white thing shows on the side or something dark shows, and people won't be able to tell. Isn't that nice? Okay, so this is cut to 4 inches. This panel is 4 inches. So we're just going to set this right at the top of that piece to cover, and put that, oh, I forgot to put my ribbon on. Well, we'll just do that now. I have a little bit of this grosgrain ribbon that is Blueberry Bushell, just called grosgrain ribbon. And so since I've already put my dimensionals, and I know that there is not one right in the middle, I might be able to get away with threading this all the way underneath. Boy, did I luck out. So I've got my ribbon threaded through here, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a little bit of snail on the underside of my ribbon, and my bow is going to be right about here, so I'll put the connection right here, and I'll use my dot runner here to put some adhesive on here, and put my ribbon across the front, and then cut this piece here about like that, and put some adhesive on this end and get that to come across here. There we go. And now I'm going to make my little bow here. And nip off my ends, and then use a glue dot to put that bow in place right there across where I've joined my ribbon. And I got away with another one. So there we go. Let's see, that needs to be trimmed back just a little. So there is that part done. Now I'm going to use this Crystal Effects, and frankly I should have done this before I put the ribbon on, but I'm going to put a little bit of that Crystal Effects on the centers of the flowers here, and then I'm going to use some of that ice crystal. Let's see, is that it? Yeah, I think so. And then down here on my card, I'm going to put some of this. And then I'm going to sprinkle a little of this ice crystal glitter in all of those places that I put some of the Crystal Effects down. And with this stuff, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to kind of mush that in place there. I'm sure that's a good technical term. And shake off the glitter here. Be smarter than me and do all of this before you put your card together. And then we're going to take the glitter and put it back in here. Let me get some of that put back on my paper here. And get that. I have to get a tub for this one. I haven't done that yet. Okay, so there we go. There is our crystal. Isn't that pretty? Now, what I did do was I grabbed my Mango Melody, dark Mango Melody marker here, my alcohol marker. And I'm going to let this dry for a minute. And then how I got this on here to have that yellow center is I touched this marker to the top of that dried crystal. So that's what we'll do as soon as that has a minute to dry. Now let's prepare the inside of this. And for the inside of this, okay, so I've got a piece of this blueberry bushel that's cut 3/4 of an inch wide, and then I just cut a longer length on it. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put some snail on the back of this piece here and place that on my inside layering piece so that it just has a thin margin there, and that way I can cut this to fit exactly right. Then this piece is a strip that I cut from my designer series paper that is a 1/2 inch, and I'm going to add some snail to it and put that into place here. This blueberry bushel color is just so beautiful, and this is one of the ones that's going to go away in the spring. It's going to break my heart. I love it. There's several of that one and the lovely lipstick Pineapple Punch. I've used them all. I just think they're gorgeous. All right, and then from the Abstract Impressions, we're going to take our Kindness Changes Everything stamp here and get my Blueberry Bushell ink, okay? And we are going to ink up our Kindness Changes Everything. And I need my Pierce mat here. This is a photopolymer. Make sure I've got that inked up right. And then put this right here. There we go. And then, while that ink dries for just a minute, I'm going to take my thanks that I cut out, and I'm going to find the place. Now, on that one, I put it down there. There's actually a little bit more room up here. Nope, I like it better down here. Okay, so again, with my silicone mat and my dot runner here, I'm going to put some glue on that sentiment, and we're going to add thanks right down here to the bottom of our card. Isn't that just pretty? I think that is just so lovely. And now that this has had a little bit to dry, it's not completely dry, but I can feel like I can touch this marker to that glitter and see how it brings out the yellow. Now I'm going to have to keep wiping this off and to get that yellow color down on top of those flowers. And I'm not going to do the ones up here. Those can stay clear, but this matches the yellow that's in the paper here, where it has these little straw-like flowers. Oh, I missed one. In the paper, and I think it just adds an extra special touch. And again, just a little bit, and it just makes those centers super sparkly. And that is just so pretty. Now I think we're ready to put this piece on the inside of our card, and I will just add some snail here. Dimensional backs, don't they just get everywhere? I've got them upstairs, downstairs, they're in my clothing, they're in my closet, they're in my sock drawer, they're everywhere. I guess because they've got a little cling to them, they just stick to you and travel all over. Okay, so here we go. I'm going to put this on the inside of my card, and isn't that just the prettiest thing? Oh my goodness, I just love it. Okay, so there is our project for the day. Thank you so much for joining me on my YouTube channel today. I do so appreciate it. And if you don't already have a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, I'd love to be your demonstrator. I'd love to have you on my team. My telephone number is always listed below, and I'm happy to talk to you about any of it anytime. So give me a holler. My prize draw for the month of September is the bundle of your choice out of the holiday catalog, and all you have to do to be in my drawing is to put an order on my website of any size. This has changed. In order to get to my site, you leave off the www. In fact, I need to make a new sign for my board here. It is now just lbedinger.stampinup.net. And so that is a big change. They've gotten a new technical director, and he is updating and upgrading all of the systems for Stampin' Up. And we have a little opportunity for a website. It's the place where you go to order with me. And they changed it on the 10th or the 11th of this month in September 2019. And now, if you put in the www, when you go in there, it'll give you an error message. So now you have to go in and put in lbedinger.stampinup.net, and actually improvements to make the site more secure. So I'll be making a new sign for my videos here, but you can also always get to it from my blog, which is www.ingenuity.com. So that's it for me today. I'll be back soon with more projects, more cards, and more tips. Bye!